Well, good day guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm inside for a change today. Unfortunately today's a washout in Melbourne. It's been a long time coming, but the rain's finally arrived, so it gives me a good opportunity to get out into the garage with some tools. I've actually had something sitting in my garage for a while I wanted to swap over on the Ducati, so today's the day that's going to happen. Should only take me about 10 minutes to do the swap, but I'll take you along with me and you can see what's going on. Alright, stick around, it's Ducati modification time. Today is a very rainy day in Victoria, but I have managed to score myself Termignoni, or however you say it, exhaust can for my bike. So I'm going to slot this on and see the difference in the sound. Give it a go. Swap out the standard can with the aftermarket carbon can and see what kind of a difference it makes. So stick around. I'll take you with me on the journey of taking the can off, putting the new one on. We'll see how we go. So first things first, let's fire up so you can see a before and after, and we'll see how we go with the noise difference. So this is with the standard exhaust. All right, let's get into it. Let's change this over and see how we go. Does sound a bit different. Alright guys, well it's day 2 and it's still raining. So anyway, the plan today, I'm going to head out in the garage. Today's going to be the oil change for the Ducati. Alright, let's fire this up, get this oil warm. Alright guys, so that's the engine nice and warm. Basically what that does is it thins out the oil, makes it easier to drain. Oil filter, so I've just gone for the K&N oil filter. These guys have got a really good name for oil filters. I've trusted them for years. So I'm using the K&N 153 filter. And what I love about these filters is that they've got, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but they've got like a little nut on the bottom that's fixed on there. So when you come to undo it, next to oil change, when it's as tight as all hell, you just put a spanner on it or a socket, it just makes it so much easier. Now the specified oil for this particular motor is a 1550. So as long as it's fully synthetic, the manufacturer recommends, it's got on there Shell Advanced Ultra 4. However, as long as it's a 1550 and it's fully synthetic, you're good to go. In Australia, this is probably one of the best oils you can get, Penrite. I've used it for years in various different cars, bikes, all over the years. This is the stuff I'm going to be using today. So it's 100% fully synthetic, 1550, it's the correct grade. It's a motorcycle oil, we're good to go. So basically, anyone can do this. You've just got to have some basic tools, a little bit of, you know, not skills knowledge, but it's just a matter of undoing bolts and doing it as you go. Now the only thing about the Ducati is this belly pan is in 2 parts, and in order to get the bottom part off, you need to take the centre stand off, which is a pain in the what's it. So I'm not going to be doing that today. I can still get to the oil filter without the belly pan being off. As long as I get this side panel off, everything's accessible, and the sump plug's underneath, and the guys at Ducati have actually put a hole in the bottom of the belly pan, so I guess they realised afterwards that it was a pain to get off. Alright, so we'll get into it, we'll start undoing some bolts, and we'll start doing some oil draining. So that's it, that's the oil filter off. I didn't say it was a clean job, but it's a job. So I guess the good news is now, time for a break. Cup of tea. So we've just got to basically just let that oil just remain to drip down. All the stuff that's been pushed up under the engine, under pressure will be up on the top of the engine still. So we'll just give that time to roll back down, drop out the engine. All right, so we'll let it sit. I'll finish my tea. And then hopefully when we come back, I'll pop the sump plug back in, put the new oil filter on, we can top it up. Alright, so I cheated a little bit. I've actually taken this side panel off this side as well, just enough so I can lift it up out of the way, which enables me to drop this bottom one down a little bit. And just on the clip there, just a couple of screws that I've taken out. And what that's going to do, that's just going to give me more room on the other side just to fit the oil filter back on. Alright, so she's just pretty much done draining now, to be honest. There's a few little drops coming out still, but nothing to complain about. So this next step is absolutely critical if you're doing this yourself. This new oil filter, you take this wrap off. Okay, has a rubber seal. This one looks like it's been pre-oiled. Some of them are bone dry. But what I like to do is just dip my finger in the old engine oil and just give it a nice run around. Nice and oily, and what that does, it actually gives you a nice seal against the mating surface when you screw it up on the bike. People do this one or two ways. Some people pre-fill the oil filter with the new oil. I've always done it this way, so I don't spill any, I literally just screw it straight on. And then when I fire up the engine, I run it for a couple of seconds, then turn it off. And then I'll recheck the oil on there, because any oil that's come up through the sump and gone around the engine goes back through the filter. So I've done it for years, it's never done any harm. So what we do is we literally just screw this straight back on here. And another misconception is that people do these up with a spanner. You don't need to do that. Just hand tight is fine. I normally just get the rag so our fingers don't slip. And I physically just keep turning it by hand until I can't turn it anymore. Okay, and that will stop any other oil now dripping out the hole, so I can now go ahead and start cleaning this belly pan out. Move the other oil out of the way because there is not really much oil dripping out of there from there on. So that stops me spilling it even more. Now I can just get in here and clean this properly. Now bearing in mind, the other thing you've got to remember is I haven't put the sump plug back in yet. So we'll do that next, after I've finished cleaning everything up. And that's it, it's as simple as that. And the sump is now tight. Okay, so I've improvised with a slightly smaller funnel. Take a little bit longer to go in there, but at least it'll all go in. And as I said before, just the Penrite stuff. And as you can see, but then we've still got to make sure that this gets filled up. So we'll fire. So we'll just do a quick check, one last check just to make sure we've got no obvious leaks, which we haven't. The reason I'm doing that is I'm just pumping the oil around, priming the oil through the pump, etc. And now we'll fire up. So that should have been enough to get the oil circulating around the system because it had oil pressure there. The oil light went out, which was good. It's exactly what I need. Don't need oil lights on. And now what we're going to do, we're just going to top this back up to the full level. So what we're going to do now is bring the bike up to temperature, get it nice and warm, and then we're just going to check for any leaks, turn it off, and then we'll recheck to make sure that there is no leaks under there. Once I'm satisfied with that, we'll be buttoning it back up and getting it ready to ride again when this weather stops. All right, let's fire this up, get it up to temperature. Alright, it's currently sitting at 83 degrees centigrade. It's pretty much what it would be running at normally on the road, so that's about what I'd say normal temperature. Yeah, I'm happy with that. There's absolutely no leaks. That's the oil change done on the Ducati. Alright guys, welcome back in the shed. That's the oil change complete on the Ducati. The exhaust mod's completed. We'll see how we go when we get it out on the road. I think I might need an ECU tune. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I won't be able to find that out until I actually get it on the road. So let's wait for this rain to stop. Let's wait for these roads to dry out. I'll take you with me. Let's get it out on the road, test this bad boy out, see how she goes. Well, you joined me a day or two later. It finally stopped raining for a little bit. So we'll go for a bit of a blat out, see how she goes, and give you a bit of a review on how I find the exhaust. Yeah, I'm not getting much in the way of backfiring on the exhaust as I decelerate, so you know, see how she sounds when I rev it out a little bit. Yeah, it sounds okay. It sounds very Ducati-ish, doesn't it? Which I guess is ultimately what we're after. She's definitely got a little bit more poke on the acceleration as well. The old exhaust was a little bit restrictive, which they tend to be. I think in order to get the most out of the old girl, I think she's just definitely needs a bit of a tune up. Alright, so just got back from that little jaunt and just having a look at the tail end of the exhaust pipe, and it's looking a little bit sooty compared to what it was like. I'll just get my finger on there so you can see the difference. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not too bad, all considering. But she's running a little bit rich, I think, so definitely needs a bit of a investigation on the remap just to make sure everything's good. Alright guys, so we just got this bad boy back in the shed after the test drive, and I'm actually really happy with the sound of the exhaust. It sounds absolutely fantastic, just like a Ducati should. The only problem is she is running a bit rich, and I've got a bit of a flat spot on the throttle. So it's definitely going to have to go in for an ECU tune, which I'm hoping to get that done this week. The weather's been a bit ordinary in Melbourne this last few days, so it's been a good opportunity for me to get this kind of stuff done. So I'm happy with the oil change, and the exhaust sounds great. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, I really appreciate your time. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. And until the next one, stay safe out there and enjoy your riding. Thanks guys.